there's an experiment done, right? So the scientists took the flea, grabbed the jar, took the lid off the jar, put the flea in the jar. Now the flea can jump really high. And so the flea's bouncing, 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 bouncing. So the scientist begins to take the lid. He takes the lid, he puts the lid on the jar with the flea in the jar. So guess what? So the potential of the flea is that he can jump very high. But now when he jumps high, he realizes now every time that I'm jumping, I'm bumping my head up against this ceiling. Now just a few minutes ago, I was just jumping as high as I could, and there was nothing there. Now all of a sudden, I'm jumping high as I could. And if the flea realized, he's like, dang, every time I jump up, it's like I'm getting knocked right back down. How many people feel like that? Like every time you try to take every time I take one step forward, it's like I'm taking 10 steps back. Every time I try to do good, like something bad always happens, right? That's what's going on in this flea mind. Like, dang, man, I know I can jump high. It's in me. I done did it before. But now, boom, every time I jump up, I'm hitting my head on something. And so guess what? Sooner or later, the flea stopped jumping. And so this is what the scientists did. He took the lid off the jar. So now this flea that had all this spunk, that had all this potential, doesn't even realize that he's been set free. And guess what? He never jumps out of the jar. He dies right there in the jar. What is the moral of that story here? You do not be conditioned by your environment, but let your environment be conditioned by the potential that you have on the inside.